Studios, Munir Nuseibah, a human rights lawyer and an assistant professor at al-Quds University. We've spoken remotely. It's great to have you in the studio, Munir. I can't even begin to understand how evidence could be collected after more than 2 years of rights violations by the Israeli army in Gaza. So how do we even begin to imagine what the project is to prove what's been happening?
I agree with you. It is a very complicated project to collect all the evidence of all the crimes that have taken place over the past 2 years. However, it's not impossible. Investigators use a number of methods. One of them is testimonies from individuals who have seen things, who have been through things, the victims, of course, themselves, but also the witnesses who were around when things happen. People will tell their stories, will tell what they have seen, and this evidence is for sure legally applicable and understandable and usable in different courts around the world. But this is only one of the things. In addition to that, you can see the whole destruction that has taken place in Gaza. This is factual. It can be understood. It reflects the intention of the occupying power while they were committing the genocide, what they have done. You will analyze the targets that have been targeted over the past 2 years. We've had already a lot of evidence that has been collected by a number of special rapporteurs, by human rights organizations, by the Commission of Inquiry, which has already issued a number of reports since October 7th until today. So we do have a lot of evidence. We still need to collect a lot of more evidence. I think there is a lot that we still do not know about the genocide that has happened in Gaza. There are, for example, all these prisoners, former prisoners who are coming out of prison, are now telling us stories about what they have faced in prison, what type of torture, what type of rape. They are now going to hospitals in the Gaza Strip where they are understanding what these people have gone through. They have gone through hell in prisons, and some of the things that are being documented today in health facilities in the Gaza Strip. Different diseases, different, the rape is also being documented, and through their stories, but also through forensic tests. So yes, investigation happens in any way, in many different ways. Factual reality can be discovered in different ways. Of course, there might be things that we will never know about. There are many people who have disappeared. Nobody knows where they are. There are people who have been murdered in prison, and they are not there anymore to tell us what happened to them. So there are things that maybe we will never know about, but we know what we know, and what we can document today is more than sufficient for our understanding of genocide as well as many other crimes.
Yes, and we shall see whether the justice will be delivered in the future, because obviously the investigations will take time. Many people say that Israel has killed the journalists in Gaza, a record number, because they are the ones with the best evidence. They were there. They have the expertise to document the time, the place, the actions. We shall see what happens in the future. Right now, how is it possible that Israel has managed to circumvent and ignore every directive coming from the International Court of Justice? Those directives that were given in the meantime that it had to comply with before completing the entire directives of the ICJ. There were some pointers, you need to do this while you're at war. And now the ICJ is saying, let aid in, facilitate aid. And Israel is saying, no, the best agency that the world admits, UNRWA, is not allowed to operate in Gaza. So we're talking about the effect now of international law on Israel, which seems to be making no difference.
Israel has been enjoying impunity because of the support that it is receiving, first from the United States. And it's very important here to name the United States of America, because it has been the state that has supported Israel in Security Council, in Human Rights Council. It decided to sanction the International Criminal Court.
Will the case look at complicity of third countries, of other parties?
Well, not this case. There is currently an ongoing case, Nicaragua versus Germany. This case is looking at German responsibility not only for the genocide that is taking place currently in Gaza, but for other war crimes and crimes against humanity that Israel has been responsible for in the occupied Palestinian territory for a while. This is looking for third state responsibility. Germany is the one state that has been selected by Nicaragua. But the South Africa, for example, versus Israel case will not look at third state responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
It's only focused on Israeli responsibility for the genocide. The International Criminal Court arrest warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant, and I think we should expect more in the future, will be looking at individual criminal responsibility and not state responsibility. So we still need a lot of additional justice initiatives in the future, not only the ones that are ongoing today, despite the fact that they are very important, but the justice project has only started. We need to continue working for decades to come in order to first understand what has happened, but secondly, bring about whatever justice that is, that we can actually bring, within justice initiatives.
When we're talking about international law and whether it's humanitarian law, whether it's the rules of war, and we look at the two big international conflicts taking place at the moment, Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Israel, Hamas and Israel, compare that to the atrocities that are being committed. They're equally huge, if not greater, in Sudan than they are in Ukraine. I don't think anything can match the horrors of Gaza. But Sudan's war is atrocious. Is there a big difference when it comes to the legal application of international law for domestic internal conflicts, like is happening in Yemen for a long time, happening in Sudan right now, compared to these international ones?
There are some differences, but not big differences. There is no difference when it comes to international, like, for example, the Genocide Convention. The Genocide Convention does not care whether you're committing genocide in an occupied territory or in an area where you
against your own people.
Against your own people. It's actually international law developed after the Second World War in a way that would involve or include atrocities that countries would do within their own territorial jurisdiction. So, strictly speaking, legally, there is no difference. However, the problem is politics. Yeah, whenever politics comes to the issue, states will invoke the atrocities that they find important to invoke, and they will resist invoking, and they will, like you see, for example, with the situation of Gaza, you will find that many Western countries, including not only the United States, but including, will try as much as possible to suppress the justice mechanisms on Palestine, and will support. Many countries have given money to the International Criminal Court to investigate Ukraine specifically. So you will find that there is no equality in the justice, in the functions of the justice system, because states, at the end of the day, have certain interests. There are things that they want to invoke and they want to investigate, and other things that they want to hide under the carpet.
Yeah, that word politics, I suddenly clicked, because when states become involved, the pressure is so much more intense. Munir, thank you so much indeed for coming in. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.